Major sins and minor sins in Islam. So, for example, one of the major sins in Islam is what? Any feedback?
A crime.
Huh?
Killing someone.
Killing, murdering someone. What else?
Zina.
Zina is one of them.
Gossiping.
Theft.
Huh?
Gossiping.
Gossiping? It could be, yes.
Theft.
Theft is one of them. Ascribing partner, shirk billah. So there are seven cardinal sins in Islam. One of them, al-firar min al-zahf. If you are facing the enemy in the battlefield, you turn your face and you run away. That's a sin. One of the sins that is considered the cardinal in Islam is at-ta'arrub ba'd al-hijrah. So what is ta'arrub ba'd al-hijrah? At-ta'arrub ba'd al-hijrah means that I go somewhere, I travel somewhere where I no longer can practice my religion freely, in a way that's going to affect my faith and basically, in the long term, will weaken my faith. Example, just an example. Imagine Russia during the Soviet Union. If I traveled to Russia, if I had traveled to Russia during the Soviet Union, I was not able as a woman to keep my hijab on. As a man, I was not allowed to pray. As a student, I'm not allowed to learn my religion. So, do I have the luxury of moving to Russia under the Soviet Union voluntarily? Just I choose to go there because I wanted to live there. Am I allowed to do that? According to the scholars, you're not allowed to do that, because by moving to such environment, to such society, you will be weakening your faith, you will be weakening the faith of your children, you will be weakening the faith of your spouse. Therefore, you're not supposed to travel or reside somewhere where you're going to have a weakened faith, weakened religion. This is called ta'arrub ba'd al-hijrah. Now, where did this originate from? It originated from Muslims living in Mecca during the time when the Prophet was in Mecca. After the hijrah of the Prophet. So, after 13 years, the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina due to the persecution of Meccans to Muslims. Now, when the Prophet left, the verses in the Quran came telling all Muslims, all remaining Muslims in Mecca, that you all have to leave. Because by choosing to stay in Mecca, you will not be able to practice your religion freely. They will not be able to pray. They were not able to fast. They were not able to do anything of their obligations. Meccans would not allow them. In fact, converting to Islam was a crime, punishable by Meccans' law. And that's why many Muslims lost their lives, because they just converted to Islam. Like Sumayya and Yasir, the parent of Ammar, the companion of the Prophet. So basically, the Quran came down to tell remaining Muslims that you all have to leave. You have no excuse. You need to leave Mecca and go to Medina, because you have no excuse staying in Mecca. Some of them would say, you know what, we have our livelihood, we have our store, we have our, let's say, business here, we can't leave. Islam tells them there is no excuse. You have to leave your business, you have to leave your livelihood. Nothing more important than your faith. You have to preserve your faith. Leave your business, leave your home, go to Medina. And you're not allowed to stay in Mecca. Therefore, most Muslims heeded the call of the Quran and they chose to migrate. In fact, when the verse came down warning the Muslims remaining in Mecca not to stay in Mecca anymore, one of them, his name is Jundub ibn Dhumra. Jundub ibn Dhumra. His name is Jundub ibn Dhumra. He said, I'm going to leave tonight. His family told him, you're sick. He says, even if I'm sick, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay. After this ayah, Allah warned us not to stay in Mecca. I'm not going to stay. So he decided to leave that particular night. As he was leaving, he was sick, he had some fever. As he was leaving, he got to the outskirts of Mecca in an area called At-Tan'im, which is maybe 10-15 miles off Mecca. He got sick and sicker and sicker to the point that he wasn't able to move anymore. So he realized he's going to die. Before reaching to Medina, he laid down on the floor and he extended one hand as his hand, and he put the other hand, pretending it is the hand of the Prophet, on the other hand, and doing bay'ah for the Prophet, making pledge with his own hand on behalf of the Prophet that I am with you and I have not been able to reach you, and I am doing this bay'ah before I die on behalf of the Prophet, that I'm pledging to the Prophet, I am following him. And he died. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed an ayah in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَخْرُجْ مِنْ بَيْتِهِ مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ يُدْرِكُهُ الْمَوْتِ فَقَدْ وَقَعَ أَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. And he whoever travels or migrates from home, going to Allah and His Apostle, and yet he faces death, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will embrace him. So basically, that was how this issue came about, that Islam told Muslims you're not allowed to stay in a hostile environment, hostile to the point that you cannot exercise your religion. Now you know the general rule now. Muslims are not allowed to stay or reside in a society so hostile to Islam that Muslims are not capable of practicing their religion accurately and freely.